This is Laura Duncan from CSMS. Today we will be writing inequalities and solving them using real-world problems. Look at number 1. Albert earns $3.50 for each hour he works. If he wants to earn at least $52.50, how many hours must he work? You may know that I like to start with the question. I want to know what I'm looking for. It says how many hours must he work, so I know H is going to be my variable. Now when we go back to the question, Albert earns $3.50 for each hour. That implies multiplication. Then if he wants to earn at least, remember at least is one of those counterintuitive words. He wants to make at least $52.50. That means he wants to make more than or equal to that amount. Now we'll go about solving this inequality by dividing by 350 in order to isolate the variable. So H is greater than or equal to 15. That means Albert must work at least 15 hours. Remember to put your label of hours on there and to write it using words so that we know you understand. Let's go to number 2. The daily production cost for a skate factory cannot be more than $5,400. It costs $15 in materials to make each pair of skates, and the daily operating costs are $900. How many pairs of skates can be produced under these circumstances? Let's look at the question. How many pairs of skates can be produced under these circumstances? So I'm looking for the amount of skates, but I don't like using an S, so I'm going to use a P for a pair of skates. Well, it costs $15 in materials to make each pair of skates. That implies multiplication, so $15 for every pair of skates. We're going to add the daily operation cost of $900. That's a one-time, one fee that is given daily. Now let's consider the inequality. It cannot be more than $5,400. Well, if it cannot be more than, it has to be less than. If it cannot be more than, can it be equal to? Well, yes, it can. So it can be less than or equal to the $5,400. That's our inequality. Now let's solve it. We'll subtract 900 from each side of the inequality, and we'll end up with 15p is less than or equal to 4,500. Divide by 15 on each side, and we have p is less than or equal to 300. What does that mean, p is less than or equal to 300? There's a couple of ways to state it. You could say that no more than 300 skates could be produced, or you could say that at most 300 pairs of skates could be produced. Now let's look at number 3. A group of 3 friends went to the movies. After paying for their tickets, they had a total of $10 to spend on refreshments. Sodas cost $1.50 each, and a box of popcorn cost $1.75. How many sodas can they buy if they purchase 2 boxes of popcorn? Let's begin with the question. We're looking for how many sodas they can buy, but I don't like S for a variable, so I'm going to use C for Coke. We know that each Coke or soda cost $1.50 each, so that implies multiplication. And we want to buy a box of popcorn. Well, we want 2 boxes of popcorns, so that would be 2 times $1.75. Now let's look at our total. Our total is $10. Is the money that we're spending on our refreshments, does it have to be less than, greater than, or something else? When you have a budget, you want to spend less than or equal to your budget. Let's begin solving. I simplified this 2 times $1.75 to be $3.50. We'll subtract $3.50 from each side and have $1.50 is less than or equal to $6.50. Now we'll divide by $1.50 on each side. C is less than or equal to 4.3 repeating. So what does that mean? Can they buy a third of a cup of Coke? No way. So the solution would be that they can buy no more than 4 Cokes or 4 sodas. Or you can say they can buy at most 4 sodas. Number 4, Kevin's history grade will be determined by the average of 4 tests. He received a 76, 85, a 74 on the first 3 tests. He needs to get an average of at least an 80 to receive a B. What is the minimum he can make on the 4th test to receive a B in history? First, I want you to think about how to find the average of 4 tests. To find the average of 4 tests, you will add the 4 tests together and divide by 4. Copy the expression to find the averages. Now let's talk about when we need to make at least an 80. If we're making at least an 80, that would mean that we need to make greater than or equal to an 80. Now let's solve. The easiest way to do this is to take care of that 4, cancel it out, and we'll do that by multiplying by 4 on each side. You may go ahead and find the sum of these numbers, which is 235, and that will be 235 plus t is greater than or equal to 320. We'll continue solving by subtracting 235 from both sides. So t is greater than or equal to 85. What does that mean? You must make at least an 85 to maintain your 80 average. Let's look at number 5 now. On an interstate highway, the maximum speed is 70 miles per hour, and the minimum speed is 45 miles per hour. If x represents speed, then write an inequality to express this condition. Pause the video and see if you can figure this out. Since x has to be between those speeds, this is the way I like to write it. You'll have 45 is less than x, which is less than or equal to 70. You could also write it this way. 70 is greater than or equal to x, which is greater than or equal to 45. Both ways are correct. The lesson is yours.